Hey everyone, this is Camfrey15 and I'm back with another video. So, now that we kind of got a little bit more information and more flack of the current situation, this video is basically made for who do you think most of the blame goes towards this Spider-Man coming out of the MCU issue. And, in my last video I made about this, I kind of morally placed blame on, Sony and, why are they doing this? And I think it's stupid that they're doing it, and I think their movies are going to flop because of it. Now, I feel like, after, sleeping on it after a while and listening a little bit more about all this information going on, I feel like still, I blame Sony to an extent, but now when I look at it, the more I look at it, it's just split right down the middle of who's to blame. You can blame Marvel, you can blame Sony, you can blame either or the company, or really not Marvel, Disney. You can blame either or of the company, and like I said in my last video, the biggest loss to us is who it hurts the most. It's going to be the fans. And, this whole issue has been an uproar for literally the past 24 hours, and it's still going on today. Dude, save Spidey from Sony. The tweet is still trending today with, the crazy things that have been happening today. And, if you're in America, you know the crazy things that have been happening today. I'm not going to get into that. It's just crazy, and I'm still shocked that, that this is happening. And, so I'm going to structure this video on who's to blame and who's not to blame. And, and near the tail end of this video, I'm probably going to do what to expect for the future of Spider-Man. So, in my opinion, who is to blame for this whole stupid mishap crap? And, I really think it's 50-50 of both companies. I think it's I think you can put blame on, Sony and Disney. Disney from the standpoint of them, they're asking for too much. After a while, I dissected more of the 50-50 offer they tried to make to Sony. The more and more it feels like now, Disney's being more greedy and being more, stupid. And, I'm coming at an angle trying to say this. If there are still talks going on, which I feel like there needs to be renegotiations and talks. If I'm Sony, listen, I just go up tomorrow to go up to Disney and tell them, look, we'll be able to agree to disagree. If it's anything less than 50, we'll take it. So if it's 60-40 or 30-70 or 20-80, hell, even 10-90 to an extent, but I think in the 20-80-30 70-40-60 range, that's good enough. If Disney does not agree to those demands, okay, then Sony, you have all the right to be like, okay, then we're gonna pack our bags. It was nice doing business for you the past few years, and good, best wishes for your future endeavors and stuff like that. And like I said, if that happens, it's going to suck for the fans and stuff like that. And that's when Sony can look like the good guys, and Disney can look like the bad guys, because then people would be like, you can't accept anything less than 50. Like I said, personally, if it was my opinion, and if I was one of the spokespersons for Disney, if Sony were to come back to me and be like, look, anything less than 50, we'll take it. So if you want 40-60, we'll do that. That's a done deal. I'd be like, okay, then do it. Take it. And from really the aspect of, the not only the backlash and the flack this is going on. These companies, both Disney and Sony, are on the pressure. They're on the hot seat right now to get another negotiation, another deal done. Because with all the backlash, this has been one of the most things I've seen backlashed and talked about and, blaming and stuff across just one thing I've ever seen. The last time I saw something this big and overarching about, something that serious, where people had an issue with a film, was probably the Sonic movie when it came to the designs. Now, not as big as the Spider-Man issue is, because literally, the Spider-Man issue holds the fates to not only what the future for the MCU can be, but literally for the next Spider-Man film can be, because we left off at a cliffhanger. And this can be Sony's problem, and they're just being legitimately dumb. As they say, look, we'll give one more MCU Spider-Man film, and then we'll talk about deals again. The deal again. Because now you left off at a cliffhanger, and the fact that there's a cliffhanger, and if it doesn't, and if Sony packs their bags and goes their own ways, and makes their own, Spider-Man 3, like I said in my last video, the continuity is going to be all kinds of messed up, and that could be a negative to the story, because when you see those negative reviews, more people will be talking about the continuity doesn't. The continuity doesn't do well with what's going on in the story, because you can't reference nothing from the MCU. So it goes like this. In my opinion, Marvel's being too greedy, and I think they could my bad. Not Marvel. Disney, I think, is being too greedy, and they need to either lower the price or the percentage of price they want for profit of Spider-Man. Sony, I think, is being dumb, because literally the cliffhanger alone is inhabiting the ability to have good continuity, good storytelling. And this last video I just watched, they said if, Sony does their own Spider-Man, live action film, and it flops, big time, then, people are going to be up in Sony's face saying, see, you should have left him in the MCU, because they did it the right way. You guys still, to this day, cannot get your own Spider-Man right. And then they did another thing and says, what if it's a fantastically good movie? Then Sony can basically be like, see, we didn't really need Marvel. We were just fine on our own. We just needed a little stable. And another negative where it's Sony being dumb is, last night, they made a tweet, like a tweet statement, basically kind of blaming, Kevin Feige and Disney for not cooperating and stuff like that. Whatever. At this point, it just comes to the aspect where now, after, sleeping on it, thinking about it more and more, I feel like both companies are in the wrong, and they're just obviously being freaking stupid idiots. Because now they're going to realize something. When together they can combine this one property, make tons of more money with this one property, instead of, other stuff. And like I said, Disney, if there's a chance, they could buy Sony just to get the Spider-Man rights back. Because they'd be like, alright, fine, we're tired of your crap. You know what, you don't want to give Spider-Man? We'll just buy your company in spite of getting Spider-Man back. And, they could do that. There's still time for them to renegotiate a deal. Because after Spider-Man Far From Home, and after the Phase 4 release date, it looks, when Spider-Man was still technically in the MCU, it looked like the next movie would obviously be taking place Phase 5. Because Phase 5 looks like the big phase where that's when you're going to get the hits. The X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Black Panther 2, Captain Marvel 2, even though no one really cares about that franchise as a whole. But, and then, you put Spider-Man in there. I think the difference in the next negotiating meeting, if they want me, because they still have time, because, I say they should put Kevin Feige in this meeting and be like, look, and Kevin Feige should have some say in it and be like, okay, What on the Disney half of us can we do for us to agree to this negotiation deal that we can do? Look, to me, it all comes down to this. I know it's a business, but if these companies really think of the fans, they'll take any deal hands down. And also, another negative in Sony is the fact that they tried to offer Disney the same exact deal they did the last 5 movies. That's not going to work. Disney gonna want at least a little bit more say in, what they want coming from the movies. Like I said, I say Disney can either go up 5% and take a 10%, 20, 30, 40. I say 50 is too high. I personally would be in the 20 to 30 range. I think that's good acceptance range. Make more better movies of the Spider-Man property, and you know what? Maybe Disney or Sony will be able to, okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we'll split it right down the middle. Is that fine? Good. Stuff like that. There's so much backlash. There's back and forth. Some people disagree with Marvel. Some people disagree with Sony. Some people are just split up in the middle. And D23 is coming out soon. So there's been speculation saying maybe there's just they're already like settled the deal. They're just saying this, and the deal will be done by D23, and it'll be like a surprise situation. There's other people saying that there were leaks just put out there so they can get the companies to basically free start getting up faster, negotiating to get the deal done faster, so because they see the backlash that it's getting and stuff like that. Either or, you can believe what you want. Like I said before, I'll say it again. This is a huge bummer for the fans, and in the end, as a fan, you feel like you don't deserve this. You feel like, why can't these two companies just get along, stop being stupid with one another, just come together, make a deal, and, continue something that's been good. Like I said, if this happens, maybe those Venomverse movies can have some tie-ins to the MCU, and you can slowly bring those characters in to the MCU and have one joint character unit where they, where it'd be good. I just don't understand why, both companies, Sony and Disney alike, are being very petty with this. And if I'm Sony and Disney looking at, all this backlash, and more looking at the fans who are basically saying, like, look, guys, you need to stop being petty, come to an agreement, and, whatever. If they're looking at this, so what? And they see this, they got to get their heads out of their asses and be like, okay, look, we've been getting enough fan backlash, and, we need to come to terms right now. We need to make an agreement now, otherwise, we're going to get hate separately from the fans. It don't matter who it is. Stuff like that. So, regardless what happens, hopefully a deal is done and it is announced in the coming weeks or months or by the end of the year. Somebody put this point out by do you think the deal will be done by the end of the year, or will we ever see Spider-Man again in the MCU? I think if a deal is not done by next year, I think, sad to say, there will probably be no more Spider-Man in the MCU for a very long time, and that's going to be sad to say. It's going to be sad to say. Now, as what we can expect for the future of Spider-Man, it's up in the air. Like I said, if he goes to Sony, he's obviously going to be in his own Spider-Man verse, filmed with the Venoms and the Morbi and, all the main Spider-Man bad guys, where they're, making spin-off movies for that. If he goes back to the MCU, they can do a good, trilogy for the Spider-Man and, continue the story of what that cliffhanger left off is with. Because it's looking like Spider-Man 3 is going to be, not as focused on Iron Man and all the rest of the MCU. It's going to be like a main Spider-Man focused story and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on really what's going on now. So, hopefully in the coming days, hopefully before D23 or even in the coming weeks / months, a deal is done between Marvel and Sony, and they can stop this petty bullshit and, really come together and realize that, you know, the fans are upset and they're voicing their displeasures. And, you know, I know both companies see that, and, you know, the D23, you know, there's going to be questions asked about the Spider-Man property. That'll probably be Disney's first, you know, comments about the whole issue. And, you know, if they say, look, that's where you will not be seeing Spider-Man in the MCU no more, I guarantee you that entire, you know, room of people will be booing. And, you know, it's just not going to be a good look, not on both sides. So hopefully a deal is done soon rather than later. You know, they still have time to do it. I say the deal's done really before the end of Phase 4. I think we're good. I think we're good. Now, anything that's going on, I will more than likely be making update videos on this situation, because Spider-Man to me is a big, you know, character, and I love him the most. So any updates on this character, so if somehow there is an agreement, I will be making another video talking about, you know, a potential, you know, agreement. Other than that, really don't expect any more Spider-Man, you know, Disney versus Sony videos unless we get confirmation that, you know, if Spider-Man's never going to be in the MCU ever again till, you know, something else, or Spider-Man will be back and we've made a new deal. So till then, yeah, that's really it. So also, my last thing, like I said again, Disney, Sony, get your head out of your asses and come together and really, you know, talk this over. Have more than, you know, probably a 30-minute conversation. Have an hour to 2 hours talking about what to do. And, you know, there's going to be arguing in the meeting. But please come together. And this next time you're going through these negotiations, think of what the fans are thinking. Look at what the fan backlash you're getting. If you see that and you really want this to work, you'll come to a negotiation deal. And, you know, that goes on both sides. Just look at the fan backlash, because people are voicing their displeasures. Whether it's hate on Disney or hate on Sony, they're voicing their displeasures. And they're disappointed in not only, you know, the fact that they never may see Spider-Man in the MCU again, they're disappointed in the both of your companies for not getting this act together. So, like I said, stop this petty bullshit and really freaking come together and work this deal out. So, that's all I gotta say on the Spider-Man issue. So, till then, another video or another Spider-Man thing. Till then, this has been Camfrey15. If you like this video, leave a like. Want to get more content? Just hit that subscribe button. And also, in your opinion, who do you think's to blame? Leave that in the comment section. But other than that, this has been Camfrey15. I'm signing out. Have a great day.